It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
It's a halftime podcast. The Blazers, it's going to be the last halftime podcast of the season. This is it for the Blazers. Last night, Wemby and the Spurs are going to beat them. So we've got a little bit of time here, but I do want to watch the second half of the Blazers game because it's the last one of the season, which bums me out big time because I love my Blazers basketball. We still get the whole NBA postseason. We're going to talk LeBron and MJ at the end of the podcast for you diehards out there. Before that, though, I've got to talk about Olivia and some toys and a dad move that I made that was, ugh. We got to talk birds. We got to talk television. So that's coming up on today's podcast. Thanks for listening. Thank you. I have not said thank you in a long time to the Patreon supporters out there. Thank you so much. I can promise you this podcast doesn't happen without you because with your help, it pays for the stuff that I need to pay for to make this podcast happen. Or my wife would say, we're spending that money on diapers. I feel like I'm so ready. So thank you, Patreon members. It means the more than you know. Way more. So I'm so done with diapers, by the way. I feel like, we've been buying diapers for 6 years. We just are a diaper family. I'm ready to be done. But that's not what I want to talk about to start with. I do want to get into these toys and my dad mode in a second, but I like to promote stuff. I always have promoted basketball. I think it's the best. It's my favorite hobby that I have. We played Monday night. It was so much fun. We played for a little over 2 hours. I didn't get enough. I could have played for another hour. My body might have been saying no, but it's my favorite. If you can get into pickup basketball, if you can get into a run, I highly recommend it. It's good exercise. It's a great way to meet people. Great way to make lifelong friends. I love hoops. So that's one hobby I'd recommend to you. The other one I wanted to recommend to you, I got done doing this tonight. And that's my Dungeons & Dragons group on Tuesday nights that I'm running now. Very fun. We got done with that. That's just those back-to-back nights of great hobbies that I would highly recommend to anyone and everyone who is looking for a hobby. I think it's so fun. So basketball, Dungeons & Dragons. One of the things I was going to say with D&D, if it's something you're even into at all, I promise you we're going to get to my daughter and parenting. We're not going to dive into nerd stuff. But if it's something you're even interested in at all, one of the things I'd recommend right now is go to the official Dungeons & Dragons YouTube page. They have started what's called an actual play. So it is people who are playing the game. You can watch them play it. It's almost like old school radio theater stuff where, the story's being told, except it's video. And the one they've got going on right now, it's brand new, just started last week. First 2 episodes are out. They're an hour each. And if it's ever been something you're into, you can watch it, and it just shows you kind of how to play the game. They've dumbed it down a little bit, and so you can see how to play and what it could be. So anyways, I just wanted to promote that because I think it's really cool, and it's something that I'm so passionate about. My D&D group has been very fun. I've been very worried. I said I wasn't going to dive into this. It's weird. The things I love in life come with really weird feedback issues. And for someone like me who relies a little bit on knowing if things are going well or not, that the things I like are tough. Basketball is obvious for me. I know if we're playing well. I know if the team's winning. I know if the night's going well. When I worked radio forever, it was every day you jump on the microphone and you can't see anyone. You can get, phone calls, you can get the text messages of people who might be listening. I will say if you're in any situation like that, the people who you make mad are always way more vocal than the people who are happy. But you never knew are people listening? Do people like this? It's like that with the podcast. Are people listening? Hello. Do you like this? Do you hate this? Have you fallen off because I made you so mad or because it's so bad? Right? You don't know. And I'm running this Dungeons & Dragons game for 3 of my friends. Four of my friends, one newer friend. But I'm running this game for them. And it's a weird thing because you run the game. And just like with radio, you get done and you're like, man, I hope everyone had fun. But it's weird at the end to be like, did you guys have fun tonight? So you just kind of hope that it's happening, and it's a weird feeling. It's weird. I don't know what that is with the hobbies I like, where I'm just left wondering if there's people out there who like it. It's a weird thing. Anyway, that's not, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about driving to school today. So there's a big thing going around my daughter's school. I'm guessing it is a big thing with a lot of kids around the country, maybe. There is a specific little toy, and I listening to the discussions today took me back to being a kid. There's these little toys. I think if you are on Amazon and you search little animals toys, they'll pop up. They sell them, I think, at Walmart as well. There are these little animal figurines. They're resin models. They're teeny tiny, and they're in the shapes of whales and bunny rabbits and turtles, and all of them are mushrooms, which is kind of weird. All of them are different colors. Some of them have like accessories painted on them, and they're just these little tiny animals. They're all the rave at my daughter's school, to the point where the other day we were driving home. I had two of the cousins in the car with me. The cousins had these little figurines, and they were like, we trade these on the playground like crazy. And the second I heard that there is a toy that you collect, it took me back to being a kid so quickly. The second, not even more than that, I parked the car, and the second I hit park, I grabbed my phone, went to Amazon, ordered my daughter a pack of these little animal things. They came in today, and so she's super excited. She got them after school today. They were in the mail. But what was weird today? Well, we were driving to school today, and I had the nephews. So it's then two of my nephews, my daughter in the car. I love listening to them talk in the back seat while I'm driving. It's some insight into what my daughter's into. It's some insight into what kids are into and what's going on with them these days. And so I'm listening to them talk, and one of them has his little bag of these resin models in his hands, and he's going through them, and he's like, "This is the super rare king duck." I'm like, "Okay." And then it's like, "This is the super rare red turtle," and listing off the super rare ones, and he's like, and there's like, "Well, I traded," he's like, "I traded 2 dolphins for this bunny, and then I traded that bunny for this, and I had to trade a rare, this one for that." And I was laughing because I'm thinking, where are you getting this info? These are just, everyone's buying the same box of these little figurines. I have done my research and realized there are mystery bags, but overall, everyone's buying the same Amazon packets, and it's the same 100 animals in each one. So we're just passing around the same things. So they're talking about this in the back seat. I'm in the front loving it. And they're talking about trading them and them being rare. And Olivia's super excited for her toys to get in. And she's like, "I'm so excited for mine to get in. I hope I have like a rare blue whale." And I sit in the front seat, a 44-year-old man. I'm like, "How do you know that's the rare one?" "I don't think you guys are right." I said, "I don't think you're right about the rarity of these items." And as I said it, I'm like, what is happening? And one of the guys in the back is like, "Oh no, that's the rare one." I'm like, "Who told you it's the rare one?" He's like, "Colton or something like that, or Cooper or someone. He has the inside scoop on what the rare ones are." And I was like, "How's he getting that?" And I've commented 3 times on this, and it was the moment I realized what a dumb dad you are right now. Because suddenly I'm heavily invested in the legitimacy of resin little figurines and the market value of these on the playground at school. I felt so small. I couldn't have backpedaled faster. I was like, "Dude, I love that you got the rare ones." And then he was back and he's like, "Yeah, super excited about them." What is going like? That was such a dumb parenting move by me. But I think a lot of us will make it where you're with the kids and they're just being kids. They're just having a great time doing kid stuff. And as a parent, you're like, "Man, that's just not the way it is." And you can't let them be kids. Once I let them be kids and I embraced it, it was so much, the conversation was way more fun. But these things took me way back because the fact that now my daughter has these, she's going to take a little mini bag of them to school tomorrow. I actually found out that she might not be allowed to take them because I think they're taken over, and I don't know if her teacher likes them. So we're going to test run it tomorrow, send it, a couple of them out, see what kind of deals Olivia makes. That's the other thing. I was like, now, Olivia, you better be careful with your trades. I would hate you to get ripped off. These things cost $6-7, and we're going to lose them in a year. She could trade every single one of them for one resin animal, and in 1 year, we're going to have the same amount as if she traded them or not, 0. Okay? But let me tell you, Olivia, listen to your dad. He's the only one who knows anything. Shut up, Dad. What was I doing? Anyways, this thing took me back. There is very few things from childhood that I love more in my memory than objects you would collect to trade. Oh my gosh. And so to hear my daughter talking about this and her excitement for entering the world of having an item you do trades with, I thought, you've got a little bit of me in you. This is going to be a fun time of your life. And so I remember Pogs was a big one for me. In Venezuela, there was a run of time where you would get a bag, like a mini bag of chips, the small bag of chips, and Looney Tunes Pogs were in those bags of chips. And I was enamored with this girl, Carrie, at the time, and she loved Tweety Bird. Then I remember thinking, I will trade if anyone at recess or 10-minute break gets a bag of chips, has a bag of chips, and they pull a Tweety Bird Pog, I am willing to push all of my Pogs in the middle of the table and say, all of my Pogs traded for that one Tweety Bird, and immediately deliver it to Carrie, and we would be in love and get married, and that's it. I ended up dating Carrie for maybe 2 weeks, and then suddenly she wasn't talking to me anymore, and she was hanging out with Andrew Lee. So that was great. Didn't get the Tweety. I didn't have the Tweety Bird Pog. I couldn't, you can't. He probably had it. But I love trading those. I love trading baseball cards, basketball cards, all of that. My biggest 2 lopsided trades in my life, one of them was insanely dumb, and the other was Kenny Beefus, my good friend, good Dr. Kenny. I traded Kenny a Sports Illustrated for Kids Frank Thomas card that I lied to him about and was like, no, these things have value. In the heyday of us looking at Beckett's, I was like, nah, dude, the Sports Illustrated for Kids, paper, cardboard, flimsy cards, these actually have value. And the fact that they're not in decks of cards make them more valuable. So I will be trading you this Frank Thomas Sports Illustrated for Kids card for that real Upper Deck, not rookie, but Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card. And he did it. And that was a big ripoff. But that wasn't the worst ripoff trade I've been a part of. Because in 4th grade, I was in the United States for 1 year. We were in the States for furlough. And so I was going to Logan Elementary in Spokane, Washington for 1 year. And I had what I think are some of the best things you could have had as a kid, sports fan growing up. I had a pack of the NBA and NFL pencils. They're the best. NFL, NBA pencils, every single team with all the logos on them. And so I had them in my backpack, and a kid at school really liked them. Now, I cannot look back and tell you what team he wanted. Maybe the Seahawks or Sonics. Maybe the Raiders. I feel like Raiders probably would have been a big one. It wouldn't have been the Sonics or the Seahawks because I would not have traded those pencils. But let's say it was probably the Raiders or something. He was offering me a trade that I took, and it was 2 pencils, Raiders and somebody else, 4, probably stolen, looking back, a Nintendo Super Mario Bros. Watch. You can actually look these up. I looked it up today. I think they're $300 if you find them today. I don't know what they were back then, but it was Super Mario Bros. Watch. I hid this from my mom and dad. They never knew I had it. It was, I can see it right here. I Googled Super Mario Bros. Watch. Super Mario Bros. Nelsonic Game Watch. And it was a watch that you could play a really dumb, bad Mario game on. It had a D-pad on the bottom of it, up, down, left, right. and you would go up and down this like little ladder thing, just kind of like Donkey Kong style with Mario and try to defeat Bowser. And he traded me this watch for 2 pencils. And I remember knowing that I had ripped this kid off, knowing that this was probably not great, and hiding the watch in my backpack from my mom and dad because I was like, look, this kid's not going to give me back my pencils. And so I could see there being a situation where even though this trade was made fair and square, my mom and dad being like, look, that's probably expensive. I don't know that we should be taking advantage of that kind of situation. You should probably give the watch back. Because my parents are good people. They're great people. And I was just a kid who wanted to have this awesome piece of technology that I knew there was no way we could afford. And now I had got it for 2 pencils. And so I kept it. I hid it for the entire school year. And then I don't remember what happened to it, but I know I didn't end up with it. So I don't remember if I gave it back to the kid or if I turned it in at school or something or what, or if I lost it. I just know at the end of that year, I did not have it anymore. So let's just pretend like I did something good and I gave it back to the kid. But I do remember owning it for a while. And I do remember making the trade on the playground at recess for 2 pencils for that watch. It's fun watching your kids grow up with that kind of stuff. It is. And relating to it. And then chiming in as a dad in the backseat while 3 young kids are discussing the stupidity of trading these toys. And suddenly I chime in from the front as the expert in child toy trade. What a knucklehead. I want to finish with this. I wanted to do I'll do 2 last things for you. And then we'll get into MJ LeBron. I'm going to miss the second half of this game. Blazers losing. Today was a weird one. Got to work. Lexington Ian, he got to work. And he goes, man, weirdest thing on my drive to work. He was rattled by it. Fair enough. Murderer. Fair enough. He goes, I hit a bird. I killed a bird on the way to work. Hit a bird. Bird ran into his car. And Ian was like, yeah, killed it dead. Terrible. Blood on the front of the car. So I felt bad. And I was like, I've gotten close to hitting a lot of birds, but they always fly out of the way at the last second. And I've never actually hit a bird. And so I thought that was very weird and very unique that he hit a bird. So we talked about it in the morning. I truly believe that even at lunchtime, he was still a little bothered by it, hitting this bird. So I go in at lunch where I'm talking to the guys, seeing what they're doing for lunch. And I leave to go to lunch. And 3 hours after I heard about someone hitting a bird, something I didn't think could happen, I look up in the right lane. I'm in the left lane. I look over the right lane. There is a Kia Telluride driving in the right lane next to me. A bird swoops down, and I kid you not, pelts the front of the car and boom, boom, rolls on the ground in front of me, in front of my car. And I don't kid it or anything. I go past it. But in the same day that I heard about Lexington Ian hitting a bird, having never heard that happen, 3 hours later see a car hit a bird. So something's in the air, not birds. Something's in the air. It's not birds. They're dead on the ground. But something's going on where we got a bird problem. And I talked to Ian. The birds know something. Something's in the air in Lexington. Something's coming. And the birds know, and they're trying to get out of it. They're trying to get out of the way before it happens. So just let that be a warning to you, people of Kentucky. The birds know. This is like their arthritis, and they're running into cars to avoid it. I wanted to close with, I think I want to save the TV show talk. I do. I want to save the TV show talk. So hang on.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I am into LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. This debate has continued in my life, and it has continued in a way where the conversation has started to get heated. I've now brought it up with multiple people. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. It all stems from the fact that LeBron had a good game the other night, not the game the Lakers lost. A really good game the other night, hit a big shot at the end, and anytime LeBron does something big like that, the comps to, is he as good as Jordan is he as good as Jordan? Those conversations come up because every time he does something big like that, it's hard not to say in your head, what a time to watch the best ever. What a time to watch the best ever. Like, that's where your head goes. And then it's like, well, hang on, is he the best ever or is that Michael Jordan? And then the discussion starts and everyone's talking about it. So if you're on Instagram and you're in the sports world, you've seen people mentioning LeBron versus MJ. I had mentioned that I finally deep dove it for the first time in my life. Really got into it. And for me, I like Michael Jordan more. He is more influential to my life. He's one of the main reasons I got into basketball and sports in general. There's times I love it. I go back and I look at pictures my mom and dad have of my bedroom. I've got tons of Michael Jordan posters. My grandparents had bought me a bunch of Michael Jordan t-shirts, great old 90s MJ t-shirts. I loved MJ. Loved him. I also am of the mindset LeBron is better. And so that's a weird place because I think most people, if you liked MJ growing up, you are MJ is the best. I like MJ a lot more than I like LeBron, top to bottom. I would much rather watch MJ. I'd much rather have a league with MJ, everything about MJ. But I do think LeBron is a better basketball guy. I think he is. His size is huge. His longevity obviously is a big deal. The level of play from high school to now is insane. I mean, look, Michael Jordan wasn't even good enough to play on his high school basketball team as a sophomore. LeBron was good enough to start varsity as a 9th grader and is still playing at a high level at 41. So the span of time is ridiculous for LeBron. And for MJ, it's a great span of greatness, but it's not as long. MJ's got the rings. I still believe that if you look at it and you look at the 6 titles Michael Jordan has, and you look at all the finals LeBron was in, I'd rather play against the teams MJ played against. I'd rather play against a Clyde Drexler-led Portland Trailblazers team where your next best player is You had Magic Johnson into his career with an old James Worthy that he beats in 1990. You got the Mailman and John Stockton, who are great, but you got those Utah teams. Not really a lot outside of those guys. It's hard for me to say the Sonics, but let's be honest. Gary Payton and Sean Kemp were the Sonics. Those two aren't top 10 NBA players. All these teams are great teams, right? They're in the NBA Finals. But like LeBron's playing against the Spurs with Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, and Kawhi for one of the years. He's playing against what I think is the best basketball team of all time. That run of the Warriors for 5 years with Steph and KD. That team that went through the postseason and lost one game in the postseason. One. That was one postseason game. The Warriors team's the best basketball team ever. And LeBron beats them and almost beats them with just Matthew Dellavedova one year. So I think the level of competition he's going up against is crazy. I'm not looking to get into all this. But it's just crazy how this discussion always dominates. And then I talked about Wemby last week and how great he is. And I'm not looking forward to watching him beat the Blazers in the second half of this game. Nikola Jokic, watched him last night. He is everything that I love about a basketball player, and he's everything I want to be in this discussion for best ever. His stats are unbelievable. He's a scoring machine. He's an assist machine. He's a rebounding machine, and he's super competitive. And the thing I love about Jordan that LeBron doesn't have is Jordan is angry and he's ultra competitive. For someone like me who's angry and ultra competitive, I relate to Jordan. And I love watching him get in guys' faces. I loved hearing him talk trash. Man, that's probably the reason I love Michael Jordan more than I like LeBron. Nikola Jokic has it. And he had a move on Monday night, that was, it was awesome. And let me make sure. Jokic. I want to make sure I've got the story right. Because I'm trying to remember who he gave the ball to. It was, this might be going to make a sound. I don't want it to play on, let's see here. Well, 2 games ago, I got to look at the Timberwolves roster. Now I'm getting lost in the weeds here because I want to have all my stories straight. It is Jaden McDaniels who this happened to, but was it Jaden McDaniels last night? It was, who's number 19? Why can't I see who's number 19? Okay, so it's a different guy. So Jaden McDaniels the other night, at the end of the Timberwolves Nuggets game, Timberwolves are going to win by $1 billion. It's the end of the game, and Mike Conley gets the ball, passes it up court so that his teammate can dribble the ball out, and the game's done. And he passes it up to Jaden McDaniels, who drives down the lane and makes a layup. Now, this is you can do that, but this is just an unspoken rule that if you're winning the game and you can dribble out the shot clock, you do that and you just get off the court. And Jokic took offense to this because it feels very taunting. It's not great. And so Jokic goes and challenges him and gets in his face. And I already love this because that's not a LeBron thing. MJ would do it. Jokic does it. Jokic is the best basketball player in the league right now. And he goes up and he's looking to fight. So he doesn't fight, but, things spill over. Words are said. Words are exchanged. Jokic looks terrifying. I do not know why someone like Jaden McDaniels would want to make this guy mad. So last night, Monday night, at the end of the game, Jokic and the Nuggets are winning by a ton. And this is what I love about him. Like, this is why he's the best to me. At the end of the game, 20 seconds left. Denver is up 12. Jokic gets the ball and he hands it to Joan Behringer as sort of a taunt of like, get the ball and go score a layup, you dirty, rotten scoundrels. And he laughs it off. Joan steals the ball from him, and then Jokic gets it right back. It's just great taunting. And it gets even better because on the jump ball, they call it tie-up. On the jump ball, Jokic doesn't try for the jump at all. He just lets the guy win the jump, and then they go down and miss a layup, and Jokic gets a rebound stat, which is just the best. But he is dirty. He wants to fight. He wants to get in dudes' faces, and I love everything about him. So, anyhow, there's some rambling about the NBA playoffs. I just love Jokic, and I love that he has the killer mentality, and I think he is so awesome, so special. LeBron versus MJ, am I right? Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for listening. Halftime's over.